Hello, thanks for joining me for another review. I've got another beer from our local brewery from the Time and Tide Brewing, and this is their Midnight Munchies, and it's a dessert stout coming in at 11% ABV. Cracking a little bit of artwork on that one. So this has been out probably a couple of months, something like that. It's been on draft I think first, and then they canned it, so 11%. 440ml can, purchased at the Moonshine in Ramsgate. So the ingredients then in this are malts are Maris Otter, flaked oats, brown, Cara Munich, chocolate and Cafra special free with an American ale yeast. Other things in this are cocoa or cacao nibs, date puree, sour cherries, vanilla pods. There you go, 40 IBUs coming on this one. Other ingredients: water, barley, oats, hops, yeast, cocoa. We've already done that. So let's crack open them. They do a fantastic the Kraken Coffee Porter on their core range. Really damn good beer. So I'm intrigued to see how this has come out. I don't know whether there's any kind of base beer of that in this, or probably not. Yeah, definitely getting that slight puree-esque prune kind of juice coming out on that. Let's leave a little bit in the can. Half a finger of kind of a very kind of dark, well, light maroon if you like, coloured head. Yeah, definitely getting that kind of a rubiness to it, though it's it looks black on camera. With the light above, it's definitely giving off that kind of hue, a real dark cherry kind of beer, but there's no light coming through it, but you can just tell it's not just on the outside of the glass. Let's get an aroma then on this interesting beer. Wow, and you are definitely getting, is it prune? Date puree. Real deep, dark and kind of mysterious sort of beer. Definitely getting the cacao nibs, slight sweetness there as well. It almost smells like prune juice. Slight, yeah, maybe sweetness from the vanilla pods. It smells very interesting. Let's give it a try. Cheers. Very sweet. Date puree. Very smooth. Very sweet. It's an interesting one because you're getting elements, you're getting the cherries. It's almost like a Black Forest Gatto with dates. There's almost like date kind of pulp in this. Very sweet though. I mean, together with the vanilla pods, the natural sweetness. Well, I say natural. It's date puree. Sour cherries. I mean, all of these things are really building that kind of sweetness up. I don't know if it's I wouldn't have thought so, but I mean, the vanilla pods will give that sweetness. Lactosey. It's got a lactosey kind of thing going. on, but although it's not said it on the can. Yeah, there's that sour cherry thing. The more I'm drinking it, the more it's coating the palate. I'm getting that kind of sour cherry vibe. I actually quite like it. I think it's quite unique almost, for my palate at least. Definitely a sour edge to the beer. Let's try and generate that head then. I mean, it's 11%, but it actually produced more of a head on this beer than I thought it was going to, which is cool. Not picking up any of that ABV at all, which is pretty damn impressive. Definitely getting some alcohol legs on the glass. Definitely a sour cherry, I'd say, forward with that kind of prune juice line underneath. I keep saying prune juice, not prune juice. Date puree. I think the date puree, the sour cherries are. I think they're over, kind of playing the cacao nibs. I'm getting it a little bit on the aroma. I'm getting more chocolate on the aroma than I am in the taste. Not really getting much of a kind of a cherry note. It's more that date kind of puree. Creamy. It's almost like a sour stout. Very sweet though, but yeah, it's definitely a I'd say a last beer of the night. It's quite the body on this is getting towards I'd say a full body. I wouldn't say quite, but it's quite a it's almost quite filling. What I mean, I've only had a few mouthfuls, but it's quite a filling beer. It's very well conditioned as well. Really nice. It's just different. I love trying things that are just different, out of that kind of comfort box. How do you explain a beer like that kind of thing? And I like that. I think it's one of them beers. It's if you like sour cherries and you like kind of them sweeter beers, this is a great one to go and pick up. Midnight Munchies from Time and Tide Brewing, their Dessert Stout. Lovely label, I love it. In terms of a rating then for me on this one, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. I think it's not a bad beer. It's not a beer I would be going thinking, oh, I'll drink it regularly kind of thing. It's more of a, if I saw this on, I'd love to see this on cask or something. This would be amazing on cask, but people will be like, oh, it's 11%. You know, because they can't session it. They, you know, it's like, oh, then the ABV is like, oh, it's too big. And it's like, well, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. You just have a half or a third or whatever. Well, you do have thirds of cask, but just have a half. Done, one and done kind of beer. But yeah, I actually really do like it. I've had better stouts from this brewery. Obviously they've done some very good stouts, but this is a nice one to try. It's out of the box. It reminds me, although it's a different kind of style, they've done some Hefeweizens from beetroot, and one with beetroot and one with beetroot and chili, and they were like, wow, they kind of blew me away about 4 years ago. I'd love to see them bring them two back out for sure in the future, and maybe in this sort of size can. But yeah, it's worth picking up if you see it even on the local area in Kent. I don't know if these cans have travelled out further. I'm not too sure of distribution. Over to Untapped then, this has only had 66 check-ins, 12 in the last 30 days. and then 62 actual ratings. So four of the 66 haven't actually given this a rating, and it's coming in at 3.4. So you know, I'm around that kind of ballpark. I round it up to a 7 out of 10. So that's a 3.5 out of 5 on the Untapped scale. So let me know if you've had this one before. This is Midnight Munchies Dessert Stout from Time and Tide Brewing, 11% ABV. Thanks for watching then. Put your comments down below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next review. Cheers.